Ottawa is the capital city of Canada, and as befits the national capital, this is the splendid Parliament buildings. It comes in three parts: the West Block, the Central Block and the East Block. The thing that really appeals to me about Ottawa is the magnificent architecture of the buildings, both modern and historic. The Canadian Museum of Civilisation was designed with a First Nations people principle of avoiding straight lines and angles. The Great Hall represents an upturned canoe with oars as supports and houses many thousands of Aboriginal artefacts, including genuine totems, some of them dating back to the 1600s, and it gives a great insight into the culture of all Canadians.
Excuse me, Mr. Passmore, wouldn't it be better to take your picture in this direction?
You know, I reckon you're absolutely correct. But I tell you what, that's such a lovely colour. Can I possibly get you in the foreground?
You sure can.
Brilliant. Okay, here we go. The National Gallery contains the largest collection of Canadian art and is guarded by Maman, a 9-metre-high bronze spider with 26 marble eggs in a sack beneath her body. Another treasure of Ottawa is the Rideau Canal. This was recently World Heritage listed by UNESCO. Now, it was originally constructed as a defensive connection between Ottawa and Kingston, 202 kilometres that away. The idea was to avoid open water contact on the St Lawrence River with the Americans. Today, the canal is a recreational artery into the heart of the city. Right now, autumn colours are on the turn, but more about that later. In the winter, it freezes and becomes the world's largest skating rink, allowing Ottawans to skate to work. One of the most famous destinations in town is the Bywood Market. Now, it's the entertainment centre of the city, and the nightlife absolutely goes off every single night down here. Now, it's a wonderful place to come and buy unusual merchandise, furniture, you name it. But also, when it comes to restaurants, look, there's 120 different establishments where you can eat and drink. But the thing that does it for me is this farmers market. It's one of the oldest continuously operating farmers markets in the whole of Canada. And the produce, it's fantastic. It's beautiful, it's tasty, and it's so different.
Look, while you're in Ottawa, why not get yourself a set of wheels? There are bikes for hire all around the city, and it's a really great way to take in the scenery and to get your fitness level up too. Simply begin your journey at Confederation Boulevard, which is the start of a 5-kilometre loop that takes you past the city's major attractions. There are also biking paths on both sides of the Rideau Canal and the Ottawa River. So make sure you grab a helmet and put aside a day to spend outdoors biking through Canada's capital city.
Now, if you visit Canada and you don't have a chance to get out and experience the incredible environment here, well, one place you can come is to the Montreal Biodome. Now, this was the 1976 Montreal Olympic Velodrome. It's been converted into a unique environmental experience that takes you through 4 unique climates here in America.
The first is the subtropical habitat, emulating the rainforests of South America. There are exotic plants and animals living in a controlled environment that's never less than 24 degrees Celsius or above 28. The animals include poison arrow frogs, turtles, hyacinth macaws, and an array of very friendly birds. Another controlled environment is Polar World, home to wildlife from the Northern Hemisphere such as puffins, and from the Antarctic such as king, macaroni and hopper penguins. I love the St Lawrence marine ecosystem, a massive 2.5 million litre tank that's home to fish and seabirds from the area where the river meets the Atlantic Ocean. Home to massive Atlantic salmon and even bigger black Atlantic sturgeon fish, an ancient fish that's farmed these days for its eggs, which are better known as some of the world's finest caviar. There's also a Madagascan display with lemurs and plants from the region that gets a lot of interest from visitors. The Biodome is located in the Olympic Village, just 10 minutes by car from the centre of Montreal. It's right alongside the Botanical Gardens as well, which is exactly where Nev is now. Go to canada.travel for more details.
The Jardin de Botanique Montréal, the Botanical Gardens of Montreal. Inside these gates you'll find 21,000 different plants growing. Now there's 10 demonstration greenhouses as well as 30 themed gardens. Now this is a fabulous place to come and enjoy if you like plants. There's a couple of gardens that I think are quite outstanding and I want to show them to you right now. The Chinese garden enjoys a sister city relationship with Shanghai. And every year, a new set of lanterns comes across from the Shanghainese. This year, the theme is circus, and the lanterns bring fresh colour to a brilliant recreation of a traditional courtyard garden. Penjing, the Chinese art of miniaturising trees, is shown to brilliant effect here amongst traditional mosaic paving. The Japanese city of Hiroshima is also a sister city to Montreal. And this is reflected in the magnificent Japanese theme garden, which not only picks up the colours of the season, but offers a lakeside scene of tranquility with the enormous koi that seem to have a special ability to quieten the mind. A pleasant stroll around the Arboretum, which is a garden of many trees, helps gardeners from the southern hemisphere get an insight into the trees of the northern hemisphere. And the key to the understanding, the labels. This is a great place to have a leisurely stroll. I took 4 hours to go from one end to the other and had an absolute ball.
Now stay with us because after the break we're going to show you some of the delights of Quebec City.
If you're looking for the experience of a lifetime, a holiday you'll never forget, then Canada will not disappoint.
Thanks to Sensational Canada, you can experience the best of Nova Scotia, New Brunswick and the Prince Edward Island on the 12-night East Coast and Island Sampler. Now the package costs $2,415 per person, twin share. Go to sensationalcanada.com for all the details on this great package.